the economy, tourism, and the fishing?
Yeah,
or
mostly.
something?
Well, yeah, a lot of agriculture. The islands are very big. I mean, and they're quite widely separated. But the main island that we actually lived on, which is the same island, I think, where the airport is, Nandi.
Absolutely.
Nandi, okay.
Yeah, which is some distance. I mean, it's a several-hour drive from there to the capital.
Wow.
The British, very stupidly, actually, built the capital in the wettest part, where it rains about 120 or 130 inches a year. But Nandi is on the dry side. They have a spine of mountains through the main island that keeps one side dry and one side in the rain shadow. And where you'll be, Jackie, is the nice side. So it's a big sugar growing area around Nandi.
Wow, okay. Wow.
Anyway, I think you'll enjoy it. You must tell us all about it when you get back.
I'm looking forward to it, really.
Yeah.
Safe travel, so enjoy.
Absolutely.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, according to my watch, it's 5 minutes after 8. I hope we're all enjoying our Saturday morning / night / afternoon so far. Right, so Rotarians, it's our pleasure to welcome Javon. He's online. Welcome, Javon, and thanks for waking up with us this morning. So I'm just going to start by introducing him. So the agenda this morning is for Javon to share with us what's happening in the district regarding Rotaract activities, challenges, if he has any recommendations for us as an e-club as to how we can attract more Rotaractors, and if there's any other business to discuss, and then we can conclude the meeting. So without further ado, I'd just like to introduce Javon. Javon,
you're muted, Siobhan, and I can't unmute you. So could you unmute yourself, please?
I'd like to, okay, while he does that, I'd just like to read the bio that I sent out last night. Javon Reimer is a 26-year-old aspiring lawyer with a keen interest in international relations and is currently employed as a paralegal at one of the BVI's leading offshore law firms. He pursued his associate's degree in paralegal studies, a bachelor's of law degree, and is currently pursuing studies in international relations. Javon Reimer has been a committed member of the Rotary Club of Tortola for almost 8 years. During that time, he has served his club well and has held many board positions, including Professional Development Director, International Service Director, Public Relations Director, and more notably, President. He has also served on the Rotary District 7020 board for 2 years, been selected to serve as District Rotary representative for the 2017-2018 year. Javon has also been able to actively enhance his knowledge of the organization through attendance at several Rotary and Rotaract district conferences and Rotary programs such as Rotary Leadership Institute and the Grant Management Seminar. Javon enjoys reading, writing, public speaking, swimming, and interacting with nature. So, fellow Rotarians, let's give him a warm welcome. And over to you, Javon. Can I ask everyone to mute, please? Javon?
We can't hear you, Siobhan, so I don't know if you're...
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, President Leslie. It's a pleasure to join you for this, my first e-club meeting. Yes? Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello?
We're hearing you. There's a delay. So everyone just mute and allow Javon to continue. There clearly is a delay.
Yes, so in Rotary District 7020, to date, we have about 905 Rotaractors across the 10 territories. One of the challenges with this is our territory of Anguilla. Since it's so small, we find that persons between the ages of 18 to 30 are migrating for either school or work, and so we have been struggling to find Rotaractors for the Rotary clubs in Anguilla. But otherwise, our clubs are thriving. We have 50 active clubs. Recently, we saw the revival of the Rotary Club of Providenciales in the Turks and Caicos Island, which has been dormant for some time, and they are doing pretty well. Some of our project areas of focus for this year included our district project, which was our main focus. We called it Project Boomerang, and this is where we work toward the development and advancement of young persons through the region through a multifaceted cross-generation mentorship program in different levels of the community. Some clubs opted to go in schools, mentor students in particular subjects, while others decided to go in the community and target underprivileged youth and other youth within the community where they saw the need for mentorship. This year, we also focused on partnering with District 7020 a bit more, fostering a relationship, a stronger relationship on the One Caribbean. And so we found that we did a lot of joint projects together. We shared in their district focus, which is cancer awareness. And we had clubs participating in cancer awareness campaigns. We had clubs sponsoring cancer tests for persons who are unable to fund those. We also had clubs visiting the other districts. Some went to Antigua. I attended the district leadership training in Grenada and made presentations there. And of course, we'll be attending each other's district conference and making presentations about our relevant districts. Another focus that we emphasize on this year is training. We tried our best to facilitate training across all the territories. The need arose from this because we realized that training was really only done at district conferences. And so we had pets in the various territories. Two of the biggest territories, Haiti and Jamaica, facilitated pets. And then in the other regions, we had the clubs facilitating their own trainings for their club members. We had what is called the Hands Across the District initiative, which is really an opportunity for clubs to interact with each other, learn about the cultures of the different clubs, and then, of course, engage in joint projects together. Because again, we found that clubs were partnering with clubs far across the world, and within our district itself, we had clubs that did not necessarily have a relationship with each other. So Hands Across the District really was geared toward fostering a stronger relationship within the district amongst our clubs. And something we continue to focus on, we started about 2 years ago, is promoting blood donorship. And so clubs were advocating for blood donors, and members themselves were going out there and donating blood. And that is essentially a summary of what Rotary in the district has been doing. We have our district conference coming up from the 30th of May to the 3rd of June. We are still reaching out to Rotarians, Rotary clubs across the district. If they're interested in sponsoring, it would be greatly appreciated. We recently had to relocate our district conference from the BVI to Miami because of the hurricane in September. And so a lot of our plans regarding funding were affected by that. And so we're still reaching out to clubs across the district to assist if they so desire. How can the E-Club attract? Not many persons know about the E-Club, so I think one thing that would need to be done is promotion, that persons know that the E-Club exists and that they're meeting on Saturdays and the time, and attractive to Rotaractors, especially when they can't physically make meetings, they're able to attend E-Club meetings. And so I think one of the biggest things is really to get the word out there that the E-Club exists, it's vibrant, and there's an opportunity to attend the E-Club meetings. I think that is it for me. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, great. Thanks, Javon. I know that all of us have a number of questions because we actively have an interest in attracting younger persons to the club. And we are quite cognizant of the fact that there are Rotaractors, and as Caribbean people, we like the touchy-feely type of environment that we do not offer, right? We only get to touch and feel each other when we go to district conferences. So my question to you is, considering our culture and also considering the fact that that would not be offered by an e-club, do you still think it's relevant to Rotaractors today? Oh, he's off. It seems like he's having a connectivity. Okay,
Yeah.
Javon? Javon?
He's not on the list. No,
Yeah,
now he's
I
back.
just called him to join.
He's back.
All right, so everyone just keep in mind, please, that there is a
I
delay
think
with
I
Javon.
lost you at touchy-feely. Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you. You had jumped off, Javon. You heard my question, right?
Yes, I'm still having some connection problems since Oma, but I'm here.
Right. So I just wanted to know from your perspective, considering that we do not offer an environment where we can physically see each other, is this still relevant to Rotaractors? Would this still be a viable option for Rotaractors who want to evolve into Rotary?
I think it would be an option. Like I said, one of the difficulties across the district actually is getting members to actually physically come out to projects, though if they know about the opportunity to meet online and participate, it would work out very, especially on Saturday morning, where they have the time, transportation. Some clubs have issues with transportation. I know particularly in Ilook or in the Bahamas, they rotate their meetings from different locations just because persons live so far from the general meeting venue. And so again, once they know about the opportunity, I think it would be attractive.
Okay, what's the best medium to reach out to Rotaractors, Javon? How do we get the word out there to the Rotaract clubs as district representative?
Social media, one of the biggest things for us is really social media, and clubs are encouraged to continue to post what they're doing on social media. They're always looking out on social media to see what's going on out there in the Rotary world. And so I think social media would be the best way to.
Okay, thank you. I see where Diana has up her hand. Go ahead, Dee.
Yes,
To
thank
get
you.
forward.
Morning, Siobhan. I understand that
Morning.
there are some Rotaractors who may not wish to join their sponsor Rotary Club. We all know that clubs have different personalities. And I'm wondering if you think that the Rotary E-Club would be through makeups from Rotaractors, whether it could be of service to help transition Rotaractors, and if so, what are the things that Rotaractors are concerned about in the jump from Rotaract to Rotary?
Well, one of the biggest things that Rotaractors are concerned about in transitioning is really finances and being able to afford joining Rotary, because posted dues are high, and then most Rotary clubs have lunch or dinner meetings, and so it's an obligation to pay a certain amount of money every week, and so Rotaractors generally feel that, Rotary is expensive, and so they would wait until, they can afford it before they join. And of course, during that wait period, of course, their mind may change from wanting to join. I think that is the biggest concern, and sometimes age is also the concern, where they feel as though the age of the Rotarians are too high, and so they feel as though they wouldn't be a proper fit for the club, and so they would again want to wait until they're more younger Rotarians wanting to join with them, and so that they could have a more comfortable experience. As far as the e-club goes, again, I think it would work out good for the transition. The only drawback really is having the physical presence, being able to be around persons physically, and but again, it works out for time. It's not expensive, I imagine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well, Siobhan, do you see that there would be any likelihood of a group of Rotaractors wanting to form an e-Rotary club themselves?
I'm not certain, but it's possible. Again, once they understand, for me, I don't know how you go about doing a community service project and all those types of things that would be obvious from a club that meets physically. But again, I imagine once they understand how the e-club operates and how it functions, they would probably be inclined to want to start an e-club. And it might be, again, more convenient for them to meet online.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Roger. You're on mute, Roger.
Okay. Hi, Siobhan. It's nice to hear your voice again. Just following up on Diana's original comment about the transition. One of the things that we try and encourage e-club members to do when they are able is to support a local terror club. I know Dennis did something fairly recently with his local Rotary club, supporting them while still remaining an e-club member, obviously. But Rotaractors might find the transition more easy down the road, perhaps to a terror club, if they're able to join in those things, which removes the cost element. Do you think that would be helpful if they saw that that's how they could use the e-club as a stepping stone, perhaps, but without the financial constraint, but they would still become involved in their local Rotary club if they chose to, as well as remaining an active member, hopefully, of the e-club? Do you think that's workable?
Yes, I think that's probably an excellent solution. Being able to be considered a Rotarian and then visit the club that that is in your territory and participate in projects and activities would definitely create a great balance. And so you have the status of a Rotarian, able to attend Rotary meetings and be considered a member of a Rotary club, and then on the ground you're able to attend another Rotary club and participate in their projects and activities. So I think that's definitely workable.
All right. Rotarians, I'm playing the role of Sarge, and it will be easier for me if persons raise their hands. In the chat. I'm seeing Amaryllis. I think that's Deborah on the phone. I'm sure Bonito, and I'm seeing Dennis physically raising his hand. So let's start with Amaryllis.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Javon. It was awesome to see you in Haiti. I think we did have a great time there. Just to go on Diana's and Roger's comments and questions, I have been approached a few times about a satellite for transitioning Rotaractors that they might then graduate to their own ECLO. So just so that, I don't know if you knew this, but that's one possibility as well. Specifically the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos, we're thinking of something like this. So just to put it out there on everyone's mind that this is something that we might be working on. I might be working on. And since they were happy to learn that they don't need a sponsor. So let's see what role we can actually play here in terms of supporting the club or sharing our experience, as well as what is not so easy and not so pretty, so that they can, if they decide to go this route, to actually, save a few grieving meetings down the road. So anyway, great to hear you, Javon, and I am your #1 fan.
Thank you. Good to hear you too.
All right. Dev, I think you have your hand up. I'm not sure if that's you on the phone. You can go ahead.
Okay.
And then Dennis.
Oh,
Dev, you're muted. Whoever's on the phone, you're muted, but your hand is up. All right. In the meantime,
Okay,
Dennis,
can you hear me?
go ahead. Yes, hearing you now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. Good morning, Javon. And enjoy your presentation. Very concise and exciting. My question to you is, what was your first introduction to the family of Rotary, and what was your first project that you participated in?
Javon, not hearing you.
Okay, can you hear me?
No, we heard your question, but we recognize that Javon may be having a delay because of his bandwidth.
Can you repeat my question?
Yes, we heard your question.
Can you repeat my question, President Leslie?
Sure.
No, I mean, can you repeat it to him? Maybe he'll hear it from you.
Oh, okay. The question, Javon, was what had you interested in Rotary? How were you introduced to Rotary?
My first introduction to the family.
Javon, we're not hearing you. Okay, so he got disconnected. I'm sure that he will rejoin. When he rejoined the last time, the connection was a little better. Let's give him a couple minutes to rejoin. I saw a question from Dawn regarding fees, but I think that is something that Rotary would have to really consider, because I know, speaking to Rotaractors, that is a deterrent, and as well as the membership age.
There are quite a number of clubs that reduce membership for under a certain age, or for Rotaractors coming in, which I personally think is a good idea.
Aging club, right? And they really need to take hold of the youth, how to keep, when the youth join, how to keep them engaged and interested, because they will join, but then they will get disengaged. So some introspection needs to be done and some changes.
Well, my question to Javon was going to be, so what range of finances do the Rotaractors feel they can hack?
Yeah.
Are we just a little over, or is it still way out of line? Because Haitian Rotary clubs had the same problem. And you just said at one point had the technical.
I would be surprised if the 200 a year was a problem. What is a problem, I think, is spending.
Not hearing you, Dana.
I think the problem is spending $15 or $20 each week for lunch or dinner. It is not so much the 200.
That's why I wanted to ask Javon directly.
Right, so Javon is back, Dawn, and I think your question is relevant and we shouldn't make assumptions. Javon, can you go ahead? Dawn, ask your question, please.
Okay, I'm curious as to what, in our district, what do Rotaractors generally feel is an annual cost of being in Rotary that they would find acceptable? Is it $150 over the year? Is it a lot less? Is it about how much are people saying beyond that it's really hard? Hopefully he heard that.
I think he did. There's just a day. And then what we can do is ask him to answer Deb's question as well. I'm not sure if he realizes.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello.
Javon. You.
Can you repeat what the question was, please?
Yeah, when you say that finances are a difficulty, can you tell us what Rotaractors are saying as a financial level that they can do, but beyond that they start dropping out?
Well, currently for my club, the dues are $108 per year. And my sponsor club, their dues are about $300 and some per year. And so we are even having challenges as Rotary, getting persons to pay their dues, understanding that the dues go to, important things necessary for the administration of the club. And so, going from 100 to 300, struggling to get persons to pay 100 per year. We try to break it down as much as possible, let them know it's just $9 a month, but it's still difficult to get them to pay those Rotary dues. And so imagine, them joining Rotary. That would be a bit much. Another difficulty that I didn't mention is that sometimes too, when Rotaractors who do transition to, they become burnt out very quickly. And so some Rotaractors stay away from that because they know as soon as they join Rotary, they'll be expected to execute this project. They'll be expected to lead this project. The trend has been over the past year, we have seen members who transition from Rotaract to Rotary, not necessarily immediately after leaving Rotaract, but they are all serving on the board of directors, for instance, this year. And this is within a year of them joining Rotary because, Rotary understands that Rotaractors are hardworking. And so they really, use them as much as possible. And so that's one of the reasons to why some Rotaractors would take some time to consider because they know it's a lot of work. And so when they're prepared to do the work, then they would, make their transition.
Okay, thanks, Javon. I think another member, Deb, she was asking about your introduction to Rotary, and you had started to explain, and then you got cut off. So could you repeat that question, please?
Right. I was mentioning that I was introduced to Rotary in high school. I was president of my environmental club, and there was a summit in the U.S. Virgin Islands on St. Thomas. And there were a group of Rotaractors there participating, and I was really, really impressed and intrigued, not only by the way they conducted themselves during the summit, but the relationship that they had with each other. And so Rotaract has been something that I've been thinking about for a long time. I did not quite join when I became of age. I joined in about 2010, and one of the first projects that I was involved in was a fundraising project where we were raising funds to support a baby who had ovarian cancer, and the funds would have gone toward her treatment. And I was saying that that was very touching for me, you know, just to be able to see the person who you're trying to help and be able to interact with them before their procedure and after the procedure. And that's something that really not only drew me to want to stay in Rotary, but really gave me the motivation to want to continue to do a lot more impactful things with Rotary.
Fantastic, thank you. Are there any other questions? I'm having a bandwidth issue as well. That's why I have turned off my video. So if you have a question, could you raise your hand? I'm still trying to see if I can see faces. All right, it doesn't seem like we have any other questions. Dawn, I'd like to hand over to you.
Okay.
I think Wayne
I say
had a
we all
question.
give Javon a vote of thanks. Hello?
I think Wayne had a question, Dawn.
Okay.
Oh, okay, thank you, Diana.
Actually, mine was a comment, and I have mentioned it before, but just to share it with Javon. Hi, Javon. In Ethiopia, there is a club that was formed by former Rotaracts, and they are all Rotaracts that form their own club. And as you say, the financial burden is too high for them, also for a Terra club, or for the Terra club actually, but the other traditional clubs. So what they did was their meeting, they cannot also afford, they're just beginning to work. Some of them are still in postgraduate studies. So what they did was, instead of luncheon that they cannot afford to take an hour or two, they're doing it in the evening, and they did like adults only. They don't have dinner, they don't have lunches, and this an open bar. They can drink water if they want for free. That's it. It's very, very reduced cost. And they are working also with projects with the youth and schools, projects that interest them more. So it works very, very well. There is a club that they formed like that. It's not an e-club, and it's a very active club.
So, can I say something to what Wayne said?
Yes.
It's interesting in Puerto Rico. The e-club in Puerto Rico was being no sponsors, but I had that kind of relationship with Rotaract, with the University Rotaract, and they actually did this thing of being their satellite sponsor for partake of Terra projects and things like that, and actually they became very much ambassadors of the projects of the e-club, and they have gone on to form their own club, but they are now like twin clubs, and it's like one big fraternity, and they work together. And I think if we could transfer this model that has been successful, it would be really cool for all of us, because it's not just about us growing as a club, but actually facilitating the Rotary experience to others. And in this case, we're talking about the possibility of younger members. And like I said, not just so that we grow as a club, but so that the club gets infused of the new ideas and new ways of doing things, and the other way around as well. So there is a precedent for an experience of what Wayne was saying, that and Diana and Roger, and it works really cool. We just have to, I think, embrace Rotaractors the way they want to continue doing Rotary, and not just to bring them in our club for the sake of it, but create the environment where they can thrive. And we have to explore what that will be in each case.
Agreed.
Right.
Dennis,
And
go
what
ahead.
would also be helpful?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Javon.
I was just saying, what would also be helpful if you could share the requirements for joining your club?
Yes, absolutely. I could share those with you from our documents. No problem.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Yes, Dennis.
Hi, Javon. Reimer is a great, venerable Virgin Islands name. One of my best friends who was a Rotarian in St. Thomas was named Hubert Reimer. Are you related to him?
Not that I'm aware of.
You probably are and just aren't aware of it.
Right.
I've found that to be the case in my family as well. Here, I'm living in Southwest Florida now. Here, Rotary is very active. Interact is very active, and Rotaract is very active as well. Mainly because Rotary itself, draws them in as helping to help in major fundraising events. And the major fundraising events are really large. They have art fairs and bluegrass fairs, all sorts of things happening to raise funds. And the interactors are helping in every single one. Their presence is huge. There's dozens of them. It's I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're probably children of Rotarians here who are in the local schools. And so there's that connection that an e-club is kind of missing. And we're also missing hands-on projects that interactors, of course, love for them to get involved in. So that's just my 2 cents worth anyway. And I think with Javon Reimer, we see a future district governor in front of us. Keep it up.
Here, here. Agreed.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Join the chorus. It's getting bigger and bigger.
And just to add to your comment, that's another thing too that slightly affects the Rotaractors joining Rotary. Some Rotaractors find that Rotary clubs are not as active in the community as Rotaract clubs, and so they don't necessarily find it as attractive. I think it's the opposite here, where you find Rotary clubs doing a lot of fundraising dinners and galas, and not necessarily, getting dirty in the community. And that's one thing again that we really that affects us joining instantly.
Thanks, Javon. Dawn, over to you.
No problem.
Okay, it's 9:41. If no one else has questions for Javon, then I would vote that we give him a vote of thanks. Any seconds?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Thank you very much, Javon. It was really great.
Thank you.
Good information.
Thank you, Javon.
Thank you.
Thanks,
it
Javon.
was a pleasure being here, and I definitely look forward to joining you at another meeting.
Okay.
You're most welcome.
You know where to find us.
You know where to find us, right?
Yes. Time, same channel.
Same time, same password. No.
Welcome to join us.
And your Rotaract Club, when do you guys meet?
We meet on the 1st, 3rd, and 5th Fridays of the month at 5:30.
5:30. Okay. We might be able to do a Rotarians, how many of you would be available to do a Zoom joint meeting with their club at some point? I would have to do it from my car. Well, maybe by 5:30 I'd be back. Because that would definitely be a possibility of a reciprocal visit if Jamal can sort out a good working Zoom connection during that meeting. And then those of us who can would dial in and visit. So
Yes,
perhaps,
I'll mention it to our president and see
okay.
how that can work.
I saw Amaryllis and Dennis's hands go up. Amaryllis said,
No, I was just supporting Don's proposal for a joint meeting when we can do it. I might even go in person. It depends on them.
Okay.
Dennis, go ahead.
You should lobby in the BVI, especially in all the Virgin Islands, for better connectivity. The bandwidth is there. AT&T has it. It's just that they're not distributing it. So, you know, all of your friends in the industry, if you just identify them and just keep on them, you know, so that you guys can get better connectivity. There's no excuse now. AT&T, you guys could have high-speed internet in a New York minute there.
I think it's more aftermath of the
Yes,
hurricane.
we're advocating for that.
Exactly.
We're advocating for that every day. But interestingly, my provider, they're doing some work on the network this morning, and so that's part of why it's a bit disrupted. But it's generally all right now.
Okay.
One of the first Facebook postings after the conference was from BVI, Anthony Clark. And he posted a really cool visual that says, the airflow, internet is better in Haiti. Shame on you.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be of any. And actually, the internet was really good in Haiti during the conference. So.
All right, thanks again,
Not for all of us.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that Paul had issues. He did say he had issues.
Oh my God. And I had to reboot my phone completely. I had to take everything off of it and put it all back on. I don't know what happened. It just didn't like Haiti. And I loved it. I thought Haiti was fantastic. But you should have a Nokia. Nokia loved Haiti. I noticed you had good bandwidth. It's an old phone, you know. It's going out of service per se.
Yeah, Nokia, they built that system on Nokia, and sometimes it shows. Nokia and BlackBerry are surviving in places like Haiti.
That's interesting.
It is dying.
Well, I tell you, my internet in Haiti was better than in Puerto Rico.
All right. Moving into other business. Amaryllis, do you have any updates, district updates for us?
Not at this moment, President.
Okay, Dana?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Is there any, Paul, how did the sale of the butterfly storybooks go?
Pretty good. I still have a bunch of books left. I have about 30 books. And I'm going to try to sell them at work. I'm also going to a Rotary Club of Sterling on Thursday, and I'm going to try and push them there. But usually if they get, I push it every year at Sterling. So when I go there, they tend to, I give them the Amazon, let them know that it's on Amazon, and they tend to get it from there. But some of them will buy it from me right there. So I'll see how that goes. But I'm bound and determined to sell the rest.
I'm sure you will.
What's the split between French and English that's left?
I have a few French with me, and I'm planning to try to sell a few here in New York if I can get a catch with my people from the UN and motivate them. But this is, you know, and then when I go to Paris, I'll try to sell a few of them too. But and when I go back to Guadeloupe, I'll try to push it because I think it's in French-speaking
areas, it might sell better than in English-speaking areas. But they liked it, and congratulations, Diana. You did something really beautiful with all the pictures and the layout. I mean, it was fantastic. I don't know how you did it.
Through the computer program.
Oh,
thank you.
I guess I have to follow your program, but maybe you can give me some
Thank you.
advice, my hands on it, because it is so marvelous. Congratulations.
Okay, anything else? Rotarians?
We had our E-Club's General Assembly for the E-Clubs all around this area. And I'll give you an update. I'm waiting for them to send me the recording of it. And once I get that, then I'll try to do a presentation next week. I've asked them to send it to me as soon as possible so I can make a little presentation. So look forward to that. It went very well. I wish I could have stayed longer. It just kept going on and on. It was supposed to be an hour, and when it got to an hour and a half, I was starting to go to sleep, so I had to leave.
Okay, right. So that's a good segue into next week's meeting. Paul, I've asked Paul to just present to us what the learnings were from the E-Club Assembly. So looking forward to hearing that presentation. Is there anything else before we conclude this meeting?
I want to say hello to my dear Bonita. She looks so lovely. And she's
Hi, Bonita. Hey.
Berry, but sometimes, I see her.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hi.
And also, I'm glad to see Roger again. I haven't seen you in a long while. And glad to see everybody anyway. But just those that I haven't seen for a long time. And Wayne has been fantastic, I must say. You know that she drove all the way from Fort Lauderdale to meet me at the airport and just spent a half hour with me, and then she drove back.
That's fantastic.
Isn't that Rotary friendship? And
awesome.
She wouldn't let me do anything. No carry my bag, no pay for her. No, she was there all over. I mean, Wayne, thank you.
But Wayne is an athlete. She's an athlete, so she's very strong.
No, it was a pleasure to see you. No, I did nothing, but it was so good to see her, to see you, Amrit.
Well, I'm far from being an athlete, as you all know, but I have my cane now, so I can make it. And also,
all right,
fantastic too. I must say. I mean, nobody pays any compliment to Paul because it's expected that he should be always perfect. But I have to say, he was there, and Dawn was so sweet. I met a new person. We had a chance to talk a little bit, and it was wonderful. And I wish you all were there because it would make more feeling of a family. But I was very happy with what I saw, and I met some friends, and I think I will be going back to Haiti for developing other purposes with the people there. So, something to follow up to. And I love you all.
And we love you too, Harriet.
Thank you so much.
Marcy?
All right. In the spirit of Rotary friendship, I'm going to ask Wayne if she can just lead us out with a 4-way test.
Please follow me in reciting the things we say and do as Rotarians. Is it the truth?
Is it the
Is
truth?
it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will
It would build goodwill and better friendships.
And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And will it be
Beneficial to all concerned.
Beneficial to all
And it will
concerned.
be fun.
It will be
It will be fun.
And
But don't wear socks. Remember.
And to Rotary around the world.
Okay,
around the
about the world.
Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Hello, how are
Bye.
you?
Bye.
See you again.